Hey there, Hill folk. Welcome back to another episode of Appalachian Intelligence. We're so thankful that you guys are here visiting us again. We got Justin and Ryan with you, as always. And today we have an extra special guest. This lady is the creative director behind Gray Room Productions. Now, we're going to jump into the Gray Room universe here in this episode today. And this has been the Gray Rooms. It's been Ryan's favorite show for a pretty good while now. He's been fangirling before we started recording here. He's been fangirling for quite a few minutes. So
we'll get the intro. I asked all my questions already. You missed them.
Missed everything. Sorry about it.
But we're here tonight with Cassie, the creative director behind Gray Room Universe. Cassie, how are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you guys for having me on the show. I'm excited.
Absolutely.
We are too. Trust me. I've been telling Justin every day. We work together, and I'll get there at work. And I'm like, dude, I can't believe it. It's coming out. It's Wednesday.
It's inching closer. It's like you're counting down the seconds and the minutes, and you're staring at the clock all day, huh?
Yeah. I would have been a lot more excited this morning, but I got into that Conor McGregor whiskey, and I didn't feel so great this morning. But that was last night.
The way I pick up an evening, I swear.
Yeah. So, Cassie. Justin, I got this. Don't worry.
Yeah, you got it. I'm sitting back. You got this.
Let him do his thing and ask questions.
I'm saying, watch this. I'm muting and
you don't have to mute, buddy. But so Cassie, one of the things I was coming out is what led to the Gray Rooms? How did this all come about?
So the Gray Rooms itself, the idea for the show, it actually started as a dream that Jason had. He, think about that. He had a nightmare one night with that flickering light bulb about a guy that was trapped in a room, and they kept making him go through doors and relive this terror over and over and over again. And the dream stuck with him so much, he wrote it down. And I think it was like 10 years later, he pulled out that notebook with that idea and was like, I have to do something with this. Actually, I think his wife was like, if you're not going to do something with this, I'm gonna, so you better do something with this. Right. So he started there. He recorded the first episode, Falling, by himself. None of the rest of us were on the team. He kind of put it out into the universe and was like, well, let's see if I can get any writers or actors or whatever interested listening to this. And I mean, all the rest of us on the team, we were just kind of hooked from there. And we started this big world of chaos. But yeah, it started as a dream.
Wow,
that's nuts.
Mm-hmm.
That makes it even better.
Oh yeah, it was all in the divine. It was all like a premonition, so to speak.
Oh my goodness, that is nuts. So literally, like, sleep demons could have trapped Jason, and they're like, you need to get our story out there, bro. We're gonna haunt you with this.
That's exactly what happened. It's just the sleep paralysis demons were just like, okay, you got to tell our story now. Make this a thing. So yeah, it surprises everyone, but yeah, it all started just as a dream.
Wow, that's amazing.
I'm messaging producer Lance back. He's like, I just got home. I don't want to jump in this late. I'm trying to tell you, dude, we've been on here for 5 minutes. So just come on in, dude.
We can edit that out and post. It'll be fine.
we won't even edit it. Our fan base is used to us. We are not as technical as you guys. Trust me. This is
that's Brooks's favorite line though. It's anytime he messes up, anytime he's doing an interview, I'll edit it and post. It's fine.
Yeah, we like to give the most genuine account of the interview as possible, unless there's just something like really crazy that's went on that we need to edit. You know, we like to leave it as genuine as.
How illegal is this? Do I need to edit this out? We're like, it's not. It's fine. Just keep it rolling. We got the camera going. It's fine, guys.
That's it. That's it.
Oh.
Yeah, see, I try because a lot of Justin's youth members listen to our show, so I really got to church up my language. Sometimes it gets away from me.
As we're getting ready to have a conversation about demons. So.
Yes, well,
hey, look, it's a spiritual battle out there. This isn't that far off.
There we go. It all comes back around. It's fine, and we'll work it out.
Yeah, that's it. So this whole thing started as a dream with Jason. That blows my mind because, everybody, like, you can always say, oh, well, I'm just building this off of a dream. This is my dream. We use that as a metaphor all the time, but this is literally.
It was literally a dream. It was literally a nightmare that he had one night. Like I said, it was, I want to say it was almost 15 years ago at this point. And he happened to write it down, and his wife was threatening. She's like, if you're not doing something with this, I'm gonna. So
yeah,
the show became a thing. He worked in radio for a long time. I think he's got like 25 years just working in radio. So it was easy for him to like translate it to a podcast, but hey, sometimes you just follow your dreams.
That's awesome. I didn't know that either. He's kind of like Darren Marlar. That dude just retired from radio. He's finally podcasting full time now. And he's been doing his podcast, I think, like 2 years.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That guy gets crazy amounts of downloads. It's like 1 million a month.
Oh, wow.
But he puts out multiple episodes every day.
Oh, yeah. That's an easy way to do it then. I was going to say, we actually just crossed our 2 million mark.
Yes.
That's
I've
awesome.
seen that on Twitter. I was like, nobody's more deserving. That's awesome right there because.
Thank you.
It is. That's really awesome. So for the audience out there that's not familiar with the Gray Rooms, I don't know who else would be better to give a little synopsis of what that is. So why don't you give the audience out there just a brief little rundown of what the Gray Rooms are, just about the show. Give them a little teaser to have maybe a little more than 2 million downloads by the time this thing drops.
Yeah. The Gray, it's so hard to describe the Gray Room sometimes, but it is really a show that it's all fiction for one. It's a full fiction audio drama podcast, but every season you follow a new guest that finds themselves waking up in a room where they have no idea what's going on, where they're at, who the people are in it, and they're forced to take a choice in every episode. And that choice will either lead them to their salvation or their torment, so to speak. And when they choose the door, they go into a fiction story that we pull from authors that submit to us, and they face down that horror every episode and live through that death. And then the next episode, they wake back up in that room and they're forced to make another choice. I think that is the simplest way that I can describe it. I was going to say there is a lot of twists and turns and crazy characters as we've gone through. We just finished season 4, but it is all about that decision that they have to make and whatever torment that follows.
See, now that we found out that was a dream Jason had, we know he is the warden. I wonder if that's who was chasing him in that dream. That's his portrayal of that character. I need to find that out.
That could have been. I was going to say, I don't know if he's told me this story so many times at this point, and I don't know if he ever fully grasped like who it was. I think he did say that the warden was in it, but it was just the warden and Raymond to start. There was no Bob. There was no anybody else, and it was just him in that room with that flickering light bulb, setting a scene and choosing your fate.
Oh man!
Wow,
Raymond, that poor bastard.
The best way to describe that poor bastard. I swear to God.
Well, the warden freaks me out. I got to give Jason props when it comes to that one. The warden, I was talking to Ryan the other day, we were just talking about characters and, our favorites. And of course, we won't throw out a whole lot of spoilers out there for the people that do want to jump in and check this show out. And I highly, highly recommend checking it out, folks. But we were talking characters and I told Ryan, I said, I feel like that that I'm supposed to kind of like the warden. I said, but I just can't do it, man. I can't do it. He freaks me out, literally. Like I lay down at night sometimes and I hear Jason's voice as the warden in my head with that little creepy, evil laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't do it.
Too. He does such an amazing job at the warden. And he's always set up that way where it's like, sometimes you want to root for him and you want to feel a little bad about it. But you gotta wait and see how it plays out. And I know there's going to be a lot more of that where you want to root for him, but then you don't want to root for him coming up in season 5.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man. Well, yeah. I'm kind of upset with him after season 4. I can tell you that right. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but Warden, that pissed me off. But now, every once in a while, I will randomly look at Justin when we're sitting at the lunch table or break room. And I'll be like, I'm going to wear your skin. I can't do Jason's voice, but he knows what I'm doing.
There were times I'll be talking to him on the phone and just about something random, and he'll slip into the warden voice. I'm like, he's doing it now. He'll surprise me with him because he creeps you out. He asks you what, if you like chainsaws, like you should take a dabble. But yeah, he does that voice so well. I love when he flips into that character, and it's crazy when you contrast it against because he also does the voice of Raymond, and so hearing this like soft, anguished voice where it's just like you just feel so bad for the guy, and then you contrast it against the craziness that the warden is and all the chaos that follows. It doesn't even feel like the same person at times.
No, that's for sure. That's another one. The Bob Graham Rowett. Mm-hmm. Now I've been listening. He's been on so many different things. The man has the voice of an angel, by the way. He can sing, and but just to listen to him sometimes, like I've actually written down concepts of books I want to write and short stories I want to write. Mm-hmm. I can't ever get it to where I want it to where I guess you're always your own worst critic, but
oh yeah,
I've always wanted to submit one somewhere, you guys, No Sleep, all these other places, but I haven't finished them. But
I was saying, you got to do it, or heck, if you come and join our Discord community, we have most of the authors that have written for the show. They're all members, and we have our own writing channels where, like, Arthur will sit down with authors and go through edits and advice and talk about writing and how you can make stories better. And he's worked with so many of the authors, even quite a few, if I think from season 5, we were sitting and sifting through submissions, and he's like, some of these I can't talk about because they're my babies that I've helped edit. But quite a few of his authors that he's worked with, just even through our Discord, are going to be featured in the next upcoming season. We love giving that support. So bring what you got and come join us online and pick Arthur's brain for a while. I'm
going to have to do that because I got some several concepts written down. Like that would be awesome, and throw a twist in it. Because things don't really. Horror stuff doesn't ever scare me. Like Justin, he'll get big out. He's like, dude, I can't. He's like, I got chills. Now me, I don't even believe in ghosts and stuff like that. But he does. So that's why I think it has a different effect on me. I just enjoy that genre. I think it's fascinating. I think some of the best content creators, writers, directors, anything like that are in the horror genre. Like,
oh yeah, I mean, you have to think about it too. It's like horror is not just one thing. This is not just like a love story or something that's predictable. A comedy that you're going to see somewhere. Like, and that's what I love about our show too. Is we grab so many different kinds of horror. Like,
yes,
it's not just going to be monsters and doom and gloom or a super gory show, which don't get me wrong, like Jason loves to insert squishy noises wherever he can. But we love finding all those different kinds of horror too, where it's like the unexpected things, that could even be super normal everyday life, that it's just like that situation just got twisted and got flipped on its head, and you just never know quite what's coming next. So that's what I love about horror too, is it can be just about anything, but it's it's always going to scare your pants off in the end.
I will say this: the one story that just creeped me out, just because I hate them, was about the war in season 1.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that is a real fear. Like, that would be terrible.
That one freaked out a lot of people.
Oh my gosh.
That one, we still get comments on that episode all the time where it's just like, oh my God, like even just dealing with all of the rats that come up. Like, we can't do it. We can't do it right now.
Well, that's what I love most about the show is, you know, just like you were talking about, there's so many different avenues of horror. Mm-hmm. So, you know, you might have one episode where it's totally flippant. You know, you have a bad run in with a star-crossed lover. You know, we'll say that. And then it ends in the death of someone. And then the very next episode, you might have a story that's this great cosmic beast, that this entity from some other dimension that comes in and is just totally wrecking a whole city. And I mean, that's what I love about this show, is it's so different. You know, no two stories are even remotely the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing for me.
The doors don't have to correlate. But also about this podcast is the drama, the suspense, the storyline that Unk and Zinke have sunk all their time into.
Mm-hmm.
I love the door stories, love them. But it's that really caught me. You know, the first time I heard that light flicker, like I said, I was like,
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that's what keeps people coming back to, is like, we get so many comments about that where it's like, listen, like, I love No Sleep, I love all these other fiction shows, they just give you really interesting stories, but that narrative in the front, that through line story, it's got you hooked. It's like, you can't wait to see what happens to the guest, or you can't wait to see what happens to Bob or Todd, or what's going to happen next. It's like, I love that part of the show too, because it keeps you so on edge and invested. Whereas like a lot of other shows, you know, you could pick up an episode and put it down and start wherever you want. But so much of our show is like, you binge full seasons, or you know, you have to start that beginning of the season to get that full story. And it just creeps you out the whole way through. I love it.
It's awesome. And now on season 4, so I guess we could tell them that like season 1, where I always imagined it to be like a Fallout bunker or something like that, you know, with just a blinking light and a table. And Bob was trying to be nice, you know, he gave Raymond presents and stuff, but
I don't know. Bob was pretty rough early on.
You know, we end season 1 and we're in an elevator with some British dude farting on us, and now we're in a hotel. Bob's the concierge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I kind of love that too, where it's like each season the world that they've gotten in just expands a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more, and you get that picture of like, okay, this is no longer just a cell in a basement somewhere. Yes. It's like it just gets more and more dynamic. And I mean, season 5 will end up pushing into some of that too. We're trying to figure out that great space where it's like, okay, did the world get too big? Do we need to rein it in a little bit and refocus on some characters? Like, what is the plan here? What are we doing? So stay tuned. That's all I can say.
Yes. And that I will, trust me. I'm counting down the days now. But like with so season 4, we were on a train. Season 3, it was still same hotel, correct?
It was a manor house.
Manor house, like that's right. He came up in the horse and buggy.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Ash Manor.
There we go. He's got all the details on the show.
See, I told you, I'm fresh. I'm fresh with all this stuff. I've been binging like crazy.
That was a year ago for me.
You just gotta re-listen. You gotta catch back up. That's all. Just binge your favorite episodes again. Catch up on the seasons past, and
I've done it 3 times.
Over the course of the last 3 weeks, I've caught up, or I've binged 2.5 seasons and all of the Ghost Signal podcasts. So
Yes.
what's out there so far.
Really enjoying the Ghost Signal.
Oh, good. Yeah, so we just recently, within this last year, we expanded into the Grey Rooms productions where we're starting to do other shows. So Ghost Signal was the first one that we're taking on, which love the concept of that show on telling ghost stories. We have a couple other new shows coming out. I don't know if you've heard about these yet.
Not yet.
So Bane has always been the podcast behind the podcast. It's the one that we do for our Patreon. That's going to be going public here this summer. We're starting one called Fireside Nightmares that we're going to be beta testing on Patreon, which is campfire stories, urban legends, but has very much the same feel as the Grey Rooms.
Oh man, that'd be awesome.
Last year we did the miniseries Descent into Hell, which was fun. But we're actually working on a new miniseries right now that will be dropping later this summer called Highbridge. And that one is about a demon who is taking over a guy's body and kind of taking him on an adventure, and his counterpart is this detective. So you get a good detective story chasing this suspect who is a demon trying to take over a guy's, and there's going to be a lot of really fun twists in the mix. And actually Arthur Unk wrote that one as well.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so you know hearing his writing, it's going to be very messed up, but that one should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to Highbridge coming out.
And just recently I went back to that The Door Behind the Door, where Arthur actually interviewed Brooks Bigley, because he's normally the guy that interviews everybody on Behind the Door.
Yeah.
And I did not know Brooks Bigley was like a truck driver. And like he drove big rigs and all that, and he was talking about Arthur stories. Yes, Arthur was.
Yeah, Arthur was at one point, though. I guess to make him even creepier, he works in a prison now, so he gets that full-on crazy Raymond experience on the daily.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I worked in a maximum security institution for almost 9 years, so I guess that's why I love his work. Just on the same level.
There you go.
Justin's used to the crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know, what you guys are building, I mean, really it's amazing. I mean, we all come into, or not, I can't say we all, I know that I came into this thing not really knowing how anything was going to play out. Of course, me and Ryan had all of these ideas for things that we wanted to do and all of these different things. But what you guys are building there, I mean, it's turning into an empire. I mean, you're talking about the world getting big on the show. Your guys' world is getting huge. And yeah. I love that. I love that, to be able to have so many different options out there, mm-hmm. and know the work that's being put in from behind the scenes, what caliber that is. So, I mean, I just, congratulations to all of you guys on the team. And I'm pumped for everything that comes out.
Yeah, we love the show. It's funny, Jason and I will sit some days and even reflect on when this started, and we were all like, well, this was just a fun thing that we started doing at our kitchen table, and we didn't know it would blow up the way that it has. But we love podcasting. We love being able to tell great stories. Like, we love just building those experiences too, like where you feel like you are in the room with them while all of this chaos is happening. You're like a literal fly on the wall. Like, Jason is so brilliant at the way he layers out those episodes, so you really feel like you're there. And it's like, we love being able to showcase stories that way. So to be able to work on building out new shows, anything that we can do for the listeners, like, we love all of our roomies, and we just want to keep creating like really unique, fun, new content for all of you guys.
And it shows that you guys love doing what you're doing, because that reflects in the show. It really does. Like I say, it's been my number one show since you guys came out. That was from day one when I first heard go check out the gray rooms. I went and did it, and I was like, well, you messed yourself up on that one, because now I'm over here every day.
Right, yeah. That's what it is. We trapped you in your own room and your own door, and you're going to be stuck with us forever.
Oh, I didn't even think of it that way. That's brilliant. You demons are tricky. That
at least expected it. That's what it
is. Oh man, that's great. Oh, I don't know. It's amazing to see what you guys are doing. I know I keep throwing these praises out there, and I'm really not trying. I'm really not blowing smoke.
It's fine. It's fine.
I'm not blowing smoke. I mean, seriously, for the audience out there, you guys have to go check out the Gray Rooms. You have to. I mean, if you're a fan of what we do and talking about the weird and talking about the spiritual realm and talking about the possibility of other dimensions and other realities and all of these cryptids and all of these different things that could come from, just the way the world is, you'll love this show. You will love it because it takes the idea, the possibilities of all the things that we talk about, and it streamlines that into a horror drama, fiction podcast based on all of these different ideas. Mm-hmm. So you got to check it out, guys. You have to.
Oh, one other, before I forget this question, when there's two doors presented and they give the names of two stories, obviously the name of the episode is the door they're going to choose, but the other story, was that like the runner-up, or just showing them some love in a way that, hey, we liked your story?
Sometimes it is, and I know that there have been some episodes, like if I look at like season 3, and I think there was a little bit in season 4 too, Zenki liked to bury the names of old episodes as some of the doors that they could choose. So it's,
yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah, so it's like either, which I feel like almost makes it more terrifying, because if you're a listener for the show, you could be like, oh God, are they going to relive that door? Like, is that what the episode is going to be? But, and sometimes they are either old submissions that came to us, and sometimes it is just the weird and wonderful things that come out of either Arthur or Zenki's head. So it's a good mix of things.
Yeah, I noticed that. Like I said, this is all really fresh for me, but I was noticing, when some of these doors, when they would have them choose and they would say the name of a previous one that I would list, and I was literally sitting there thinking, God, please don't choose that one. Please don't go. You do not want to go there.
Yeah.
Like, take your chances with this other one. Yeah. Like the teddy bear keeps coming back up, and the teddy bear was one of the stories that freaked me out the most, dude. That one bothered me. I told Ryan early on. I told Ryan early on when he first turned me on to the show. I told him early on, I was like, dude, I don't know if I can do this. That one messed with me. Like, I literally had a visceral reaction to that show.
I kind of love that though. Like, we've had a lot of listeners that reach out to us and they're like, I swear to God, guys, like this last episode, I don't know if I can do it. Like, I know with this last season, we had that one episode, Smile, where it was based in the dentist office.
Oh yeah.
And we had one of our mega fans on our Discord and was like, why did I start this a couple hours before I had a dentist appointment? Just messed with them for the rest of the day, freaked him out, and it's like,
oh man,
sorry, but I gotta freak you out somehow. Like, let's throw you in a weird situation where you.
And we're back. You guys won't know it because we're going to edit and post, but
all technical difficulties. It's fun. The team's giving away our secrets.
So, Cassie, I think you were talking about right before Zoom rudely cut us off. I think you were talking about some of the episodes and how just how they affect different people. And I think you were talking about the Smile episode and one of your viewer or one of your audience.
Yeah, one of our listeners. Yeah. I guess that's part of what I love too about our Discord is our listeners are right there. They can poke at us whenever and they can be like, you freaked me out. Like, why did you do this to me? Why did you pick this episode out to freak me out on? But yeah, Smile is what, episode 2 of season 4, and it's, you know, it's all about going to a dentist for a toothache, and they pulled out a parasite that just starts eating the calcium out of them alive. And it's I remember a listener coming to us and going, I swear I don't know why I listened to this right now, because I had a dentist appointment just a couple hours later. I was so excited to listen to the new episode, and now y'all have me all freaked out watching for whatever demons are going to come out of my mouth when the dentist starts working on me. But no, I love that about our show, though. Jason is, I mean, he's so amazing at what he does and how he layers the sound effects in there. Like, one of the things that he always loves to say is, like, you know, if you're somewhere outside and it's raining and you go inside, it's not like the rain is just going to shut off and you're not going to hear it. You're always going to hear it like hitting the window or something where the storm is outside. So he loves building those experiences where you're in the room with them. And I think it does really suck our listeners in a lot of times, and can make things even harder to listen to, because they really feel like they're there and it's happening around them, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's another thing that I love about it, is you really feel like you're there. I mean, sometimes you get lost in the work that we do. You know, I love my job, but it's repetitive. It can be monotonous, and you almost kind of lose yourself in this world of the gray rooms, and then you're snapping back into your reality. You're like, whoa, wait a minute. Where was I at? What was I doing? You know?
Yeah. Our, one of our friends, TJ Hodder, who has the TJ Hodder show, he and I were talking about that one day too, where he's like, I swear, he's like, I was at work and I was trying to focus on something and I was listening to the show. He's like, and the next thing I know, I was standing there for 20 minutes, forgot what I was doing work-wise, just sucked into the episode, and I couldn't stop, I couldn't put it down. He's like, some days, he's like, if I know I got a big project or something coming up on my desk, like, I'm just gonna have to make sure I take the headphones out and I just can't listen to podcasts that day, because I know if I do, I'm never gonna get any work done when I'm listening to you guys. So
yeah.
It's a blessing and a curse. It keeps all of the listeners on edge, but not good for a productive day, apparently.
It's really not. So Justin and I work at a sawmill where we saw and plane, markup, workup, curly maple for PRS, Gibson guitars, and things like that.
Oh, cool.
So we work inside most. Well, been out on the saw for a while now, but most of the time we work inside. And I'm over on the plane, or Justin's over here marking up boards. And I love the fact, because I'm facing him and he's facing towards me. But when he first started listening to Gray Rooms, I'd look over every once in a while, I'd just see him going like this. I'm like, yeah, I knew it. And then
he hit that episode, did he? I know what's coming. I know what he's hitting his ears right now. And it's generally squishy and gross and all kinds of fun.
He would just come over and he's like, dude. He's like, I don't know about this. He's like, you got this.
You may not know,
he's not lying.
You're sucked in. You got to listen to at least one more.
Oh, yeah. I'm hooked now. I'm hooked. I mean, yeah. It took a couple. It was the initial shock and awe of, what am I listening to? And then as soon as the storyline, really started kicking in, which happens extremely early on, then it's exactly like you said before. It's just like binging your favorite show on, there's a little twist at the end. You're like, well, I can't wait till next week. I gotta have this right now.
Yeah.
That's the good part of binging on my end.
Yeah. But definitely good for you, because I know like season 1 and season 2, we used to release every other week. So you'd only get 2 a month. So now that we do them weekly, people are like, thank God, because no way that I could wait 2 weeks to get another episode. And I got to find out what happens next.
That was me. In the beginning, I was I didn't, and I hadn't realized that until the next week came. And I'm like, did they quit? No way. And then the next week came and I was like, oh my God, it's every 2 weeks. It's like a payday.
Yep.
Come on.
A good payoff in the end, at least. I mean,
I can't live podcast to podcast. Come on, Gray Ribs. That's
got me living here paycheck to paycheck, writing these episodes out as long as possible. Like, what are y'all doing to me? What are you doing?
This is one of the things we also said we wanted to do with our pod. See, originally I'd always want to do like a YouTube channel and just get on there and rant. You know, because I love to tell jokes. I love to talk with people. My original idea on YouTube was maybe I could get like these Zoom meetings and things like that and get these people content creators that I like, whether it be TikTok or podcast or YouTube or whatever. And Justin, then I meet Justin and he keeps talking about a podcast. And I'm like, I do listen to podcasts. And I was like, you know what? Podcast isn't any different. Why can't we do both? So
yeah. There you go. I was going to say, you just got to jump in head first and enjoy the experience. Take it in all forms, all media, whatever you can get. That's the way I look at it. How can we spread the horror around and spread a little love with all the listeners?
Oh yeah.
Well, that's it too, man. That's the really cool thing about what we've found so far. You know, with every guest interview, with every other content creator that we've interviewed, or people that like I said earlier, we've built this tribe, and almost every single guest that we've had on here, we've carried on a relationship of some sort, you know, after that, you know, even if it's just, you know, checking in, hey, how you doing? You know, how's stuff going? How's the work coming along? You know, once a month. I mean, you build these relationships moving forward, and that's huge. I mean, that's super huge that we can all jump in here together and have, you know, just grow our audiences by, you know, loving on each other and loving on the people out there listening. Like that's the biggest part is in this, what I've found so far, it's not cutthroat. Nobody is like everybody is just super willing to come on and talk about what they enjoy and they're passionate about. And you can see that passion and, you know, people just respond to it. And I love that. I love it.
I do love that about, especially the podcasting community. Like everyone is so open and willing to talk, share what they've learned, how, you know, the tricks that make their shows run fantastically. I mean, I know we have tons of relationships with different podcasts out there. I mean, you know, you even look at Graham and he's been on half of them that are out there. But, you know, we chat with the guys at SCP all the time and, you know, No Sleep and, you know, Horror Tree and Creepy. And we love being able to build that community. And I think that's too, it's why we're so heavily on Discord and not just like, oh, we're only going to do, you know, Patreon or whatever. Like we want to be able to like talk to people and talk to our listeners and talk to all these other writers or these other shows, because it's only going to make you better, I think, too, in the podcasting world if you have all those connections. And I love that community aspect of it. You don't find this in many other fields where people are just like so open and down and willing and love to talk to each other and check in. But podcasting is a whole different breed. I always joke that, you know, sometimes it's like you listen to a new show and it's like you're checking in with your friends. You got to see how they're doing, what's going on. You listen to the new episode and then you hit them up online and it's like, all right, we're all good. So.
Yeah.
That is
that's
awesome.
True.
I love how you guys interact with your fans and things like that. Keeps it real, keeps it on the level. Everybody feels like they're involved. That's the thing about it. You're just talking with these content. So I told him I've been fangirling all week since I found out you guys are going to do this. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to write down these questions or I'm going to forget, because when I get there, I'm going to freeze up.
You're doing good so far. You haven't froze. You haven't fangirled too hard. So we're
the indica is helping. So
less the indica.
Oh man, yeah. So that's another thing I'm hoping for is I've got some stuff. I'll talk to you after we finish recording. I got some stuff I'm going to try soon. I'm hoping some more inspiration comes out of that as well. So,
man. What can we plot over here today?
But that, man, I just I'm so looking forward to season 5, and I think it's I'm excited, and I'm so glad you were able to come on here today because this is great.
I'm glad y'all had me on here, and as I say, if you want to take any guesses at season 5, I won't give away too many spoilers, but I can give some nods and some side eyes to kind of confirm or deny.
So I think a specific admiral, self-proclaimed admiral, is more demon than human now. It's fairly evident when Wolverine told Bob, "You're just Bob now." And I'm wondering how that's going to play out. Did Miss Winters, did her woo do something to him? Is that what caused it? Like, too many times she took over Bob. Damn it, Sam.
the men just, or the women just influencing the men and changing them, apparently. I will tell you, for the next season, our first bonus episode of the season is going to be a Bob origin story.
Oh, snap.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So you get his, there's going to be a Bob origin story, and then I think later in the season we're going to do one for the warden as well.
Oh, man.
So you get some bonus, like, here is how they started, and I know that season is also going to be a big season of change and the kind of change that all of the characters take on. So you'll get all the details. You get to find out what's happening and where they're going.
Another thing, I don't know if people are paying attention or not, but it feels like Miss High Standards is losing her grip on everything. The architect. It sounds to me like her sister Bez is going to be a big problem with what's his name. Darn it. Can't remember his name. He's her little henchman. Who's the guy that's always with Bez?
Moth.
Yeah, there it is. Moth. Gosh, him and his brother, who Zook shot in the face. But Justin, you don't know more about this than me. You're just more current than me, okay?
You gotta do all the prep. But
we can't forget about the cyborg guy and his son. Okay. Now there's something going on there. He knows his son is alive because he put his soul into the machinery. And I think that has something to do with Emerald Beckett's son as well.
There's all kinds of twists. I mean, you get to find out. You get the insight into all of that. You get to see, because the architect is going to be taking on a new role. She's going to steal a position.
Joe. Joe. She's coming for you.
She's getting ready to do bigger and better things. I know Bez and Moth are definitely going to be there. I think Moth even gets his own little mini storyline too on some of the bonus episodes. You do find out the secrets behind Samuel, and you know, those extra souls that we aren't quite sure where they got there or how they came about. All will be revealed. That's all I can say. All will be revealed.
Wow, that's awesome.
I can't wait for that Bob backstory. That's
you know what? I love that we've just been like, you know, throwing love and praise and you just barely recapping what the show's about. And then we hit them with it. And there's people out there like, what in the world are they even talking about? This doesn't make any sense.
Well, that's no, they got to binge some episodes and then re-listen to this episode. And then they'll be right on point. They'll know what they're doing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you, our listener is going to be so excited. This is, I always joke we only have one listener, but you know what? We've only been, how long have we been doing it? We're on, this will be episode 27. 27. And I mean, we've done pretty good. We're
growing. That's the main thing. We're growing.
That's
growing.
Just keep putting it out there, keep dropping episodes, learn a little bit, grow every day. Your listeners will find you, and that's all you need.
Oh yeah,
that's it. You're exactly right.
Darren Marler on Weird Darkness did do a promo for us, and we had people say, "Hey, we came over from Weird Darkness. You guys are doing awesome. Keep it up. We're fans now." I'm like, "Oh, that's great."
Oh yeah, I mean, now knowing that this is an episode. I was going to say we'll end up dropping this in our feeds too, so you can have some of the Grey Room fan base.
That would be sweet.
Well,
and that's what we
get this put together, we'll email that complete everything to you. So that way.
Well, that goes back to what we were talking about earlier, just growing the tribe. I mean, yes. you just building each other up, and that's huge. I mean, you keep making these connections, and just like I say on here all the time when I'm telling the audience, share the show, because that's the best way for this show to grow. My circle's only so big, Ryan's circle's only so big, producer Lance's circle is only so big. Mm-hmm. But when you start making these connections and you're finding all these like-minded people in these shows that you're a fan of, that's how you really start growing. I mean, you build off of each other. And again, that just goes back to why I love the podcasting industry. It's just because so many people are just so willing to help out.
Mm-hmm. We all love it. We all love this format. We all love talking to people and sharing stories. I mean, no matter what kind of podcast you have, everyone is sharing some kind of story, some life experience, fiction or not. That's what we love doing. If you think about it, even just if you're at home around a campfire, you're gonna tell stories and keep everybody entertained. So it's just nice that this is a new medium and that we can all love on it together.
Yes, yeah. and it's available to anybody. Mm-hmm. If you have something you're passionate about and want to talk about, you can just start talking about it.
Yeah.
And there's bound to be somebody out there that feels the same way you do, and they're going to like your stuff.
Exactly.
And it's not a competitive atmosphere. It's like everybody we've encountered is like, absolutely, dude, I'll tell people about you and all this. It's never been a problem. Like, nobody's afraid you're going to take away listeners because you guys obviously have an established fan base. Like, I'm going to be there. whether I listen to our show or not, I'm going to listen to y'all's show. That's
I appreciate it. All the downloads help. So.
And by the way, just when I do redo the whole every season with you guys, I delete them and re-download them. That way you guys get more downloads.
So you're the one who gave us the extra 100,000. Just deleting and redoing it. It's like I got to start it over. I got to start fresh. I got to make sure that my podcatcher is showing that these are available episodes to listen to again.
Yep.
That's it.
I do that with some shows. I can't blame you. It's like share the love. Share the downloads. I'll delete them and give you guys a couple extra fun as well.
Yeah, I'm so looking forward to season 5. I really am. I mean, it was one of those things, I was trying to play catch up, especially, when I found out we were going to be interviewing you. I was trying to play catch up, but it wouldn't have mattered because I was so hooked and enthralled by that point anyway. It was just an extra deadline in my own mind that, I got to get this done. It was an excuse for me then. Like, yeah, I can listen to countless hours of the Grey Rooms because it's homework at this point.
How far did you get? That's that question. How far did you get before the interview?
Oh, I finished. I've caught completely up. Yep. Completely up. I'm completely through season 4. And like I said earlier, I've caught up on all, I think 14 or 15 episodes of Ghost Signal. So yeah, I'm all in Grey Room's universe. I'm in it.
Yeah, well, we'll have, normally we put out like 5 bonus episodes to our patrons. So those will be dropping this summer. So you'll get some extra Grey Room stuff that you didn't catch through the season coming soon. And then, miniseries are coming out soon. So you'll have plenty more to binge.
Yes.
Oh, and by the way, there is one other story that gave it. This one gave me chills. It's from the Ghost Signal. It's episode number 3, An Invitation Revoked, about the possessions.
Mm-hmm.
And there were like certain things in there they were talking about, and I literally goose fleshed up, and I was like, Jesus. That is what makes the Ghost Signal worse, is it's all untrue things going on, and this crap happened, and you're like, that's real.
Yeah, that's what I love, that like, you know, our main show obviously is fiction, but it's like, I love that those are real stories, real experiences. I mean, he even talks to, you know, some of the listeners and is like, send me your encounters with ghosts. Like, I want to hear about actual, you know, stories that you've experienced and that you've come across. And I think that makes it so much creepier too, where it's like, this is not just all fiction anymore. Like, these are the real moments that you're going to catch in line with. So yeah, I love his show too. Ghost Signal has been such a fun addition to our lineup.
That stuff, it's great. It is.
Well, you know, that's where the fiction comes from. That's what it's based on, is all these real accounts. I mean, if you didn't have, like, people are super creative, don't get me wrong. I mean, the human mind and the human brain is ingenious in the creativity that humans possess. But that creativity has to spark from somewhere. And that somewhere is real crap happening. Real crap leads to being able to write these awesome storylines about the fiction based on real crap. So,
oh man, and it's gosh, you know, and honestly, the scariest things in life are the stuff that could really happen. That's so, listening to this kind of stuff. That's why I say it's my favorite genre as far as movies, books, anything like that. So it really doesn't bother me in that manner. But every once in a while, there'll be one sneak up, and I'm like, oh, I couldn't imagine if that was to happen. Like, oh my gosh.
You know, whenever we get submissions in for the show, like, I look out for the stories like that too. It's like, how real is it? How does it give you that creep factor without just being like so crazy over the top? Like, could this happen in everyday life? Because I feel like those are some of the creepiest episodes that you can fall into. It's like, this could genuinely happen to me.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Oh man, Justin, can you think of any more questions? I don't want to keep her all night. She's been so gracious with her time.
I've been sitting here thinking on how I want to phrase this.
Words.
I don't want to give.
Use your words.
I don't want to give. I don't want to give anything away, because for me personally, I am. I got you. You know what? I'm not even going to ask it. I'm not even going to ask it. I'm not going to ask it based on.
You got me on okay, leave me hanging.
Now you know how it feels.
Yeah. Now you know how it feels to be left hanging. And thanks for tuning in, folks. We're done for tonight.
Yeah, taking my own medicine. Lord help me.
No, I'll say this, okay? And I don't think that I'm giving too much away here. There's one question I think that we as mankind probably think about and ponder on more than anything else. And that is, what happens when we do pass on? What happens when we die? You know, what is there an afterlife? What is that next step? Where does our consciousness, that's, people have pondered on that simple question. The two major questions: where do we come from? Where do we go when we die?
Mm-hmm.
So I think just that basic question, you take that question and Jason's nightmare and explode. It's like the big bang of the gray rooms. That question and that epiphany, and boom, you have the gray rooms.
Yeah.
And for me, that's awesome.
Nobody knows 100% what's going to happen. And that, I think, leads to all these great stories, is because it's the unknown. Peter Pan said, death is a mighty big adventure.
True. Very
so true. That's I think this is what he meant.
was talking about our show specifically.
Well, yeah. I just mean
no, I know.
the creativity behind the wondering of what in the world is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
everyone's wondering that. Everyone's always asking that question. So it's fun to kind of play with that idea and how can we spin it? How can we give you some horrifying answers or you know, even looking at Ghost Signal, how can we talk about this where it's like, there is something there and it's something unexpected. And it might challenge what you think of what might happen in the end, but you have to have an open mind. You have to, I think that's why I love stories about cryptids and everything else too. It's like, nobody really knows what's out there. No one really knows what's going to happen tomorrow, you know, but you got to allow yourself to open up and really believe, not only believe, but just experience and enjoy that story that's happening to you and be open to anything that's possible.
Oh yeah.
Look at all the possibilities, choose an extra door, you know, figure something out because anything could happen.
Choose your door, Raymond.
Shouldn't have drank that Pepsi. It's got the burps coming pretty steadily. I'm having to mute every 5 seconds. I'm like, good Lord, there's more.
Or the factory stock, this is what it is.
Plus, I had to turn the air conditioner off because I noticed it was really loud when we were on there before. I was like, oh, that's why I got up earlier. And it's getting pretty toasty. But this is, man, this has been so exciting for me because, like I said, I've been fangirling all week.
I'm glad I could sit down with y'all. And like I said, next time we'll have to make sure we get Jason in here so you can hear all the creepy, gooey, squishy things that he does and more about the dream and everything else. I know he always has a blast too with talking with other podcasts. He loves to share all his knowledge and just have a fun time chit-chatting with everybody. So we'll get him in the room next time.
That's how he should explain the show to everybody. I had a dream.
Well, we always
leave it at that.
It started with a dream. It's ending with squishy sounds. Like that's we'll get to work with. That's what we're doing.
That's kind of what happened to the last guy that said he had that. We'll leave that alone.
No, too soon.
It's terrible, but yeah, but accurate, very accurate.
So maybe you shouldn't open up with that. That didn't end well either.
Well, I said I had a dream. I didn't say I have a dream.
Which we're going to clarify that real quick. Totally a CIA hit. Leave it alone. Yeah. We'll leave it alone.
This is a conspiracy show, so we have to say crazy shit sometimes. Sorry, Cassie.
I mean, look at my show. Look at all the crazy shit we do every single day. So I'm here for it.
Oh, man.
I love the show. I love what you guys are doing. I really do. Ryan, I mean, obviously, this is the most excited I've seen him for any episode that we've ever done. He's
glad I could perk up your week. We'll make it super exciting. We'll have some fun.
I'm telling you.
You definitely have.
Yeah, and y'all need to come on our Discord and come hang out with us and chit chat with the whole crew because I know you can. Graham Rowett talks with people all the time too, so come join us in the fun over there in the chaos.
Yeah, we will.
I want to talk to you about that before we let you go after we're done recording because I want to find out more about Discord. I don't know anything about it. So
I mean, let me school you on some things and we'll talk about
stuff
that goes on there.
But Justin, if you don't have any more questions, buddy.
I'm excited. I'm excited for the new season. Again, I know I've already said this 2 or 3 different times. I can't say it enough. For the audience out there, whoever's watching this on YouTube, whoever's listening to this on whatever podcatcher you're listening to, be sure, even if you pause it right in the middle of this episode, pause it and go check out the Gray Rooms. Just go ahead and click download on every single episode. Let's see, 20, 30, 20, 40, 60.
Yeah, count the probably
Well, just original content episodes. We're probably like what 70, 80 something, 90 something like that.
I think if we count the behind the doors, we're getting close to 200. I think.
Yeah. So just go ahead and download all those. Y'all go ahead and download all those and jump in.
Yeah, so much amazing content. I mean, you can find us online at thegrayrooms.com. Join us on any of the social platforms. Definitely join the Discord so you can join the conversation. But tune in and listen and have your pants scared off. That's the biggest thing I'm going to say. And look for the new shows that are coming out.
If you have a weak stomach, we've warned you. They're squishy noises.
Very squishy. Very squishy noises.
Yes.
The best kind of squishy noises that will keep you captivated and binging more episodes. But definitely joining on the fun.
Cassie, you guys have, this is mostly for me. I don't really care about the audience at this point. But when is season 5 coming out?
Season 5. So we'll have preseason starts in September. We'll have one in September. We'll have the Halloween episode, and then the official season will start at the end of November.
Sweet.
So you got a couple months. Catch up and binge, and then get ready for season 5.
Yeah, absolutely. Click those download buttons. Close your eyes. Get somewhere quiet to where you can take it all in, and
lock all the doors, close the windows. Prepare.
Yeah, lock the doors. Close the windows.
This is terrible advice. Go out in a crowded area, get some good earbuds where you drown out the noise, and you'll feel safe. Don't be alone. That's stupid. Don't tell people that.
Get somewhere, close your eyes, get in your own little headspace, and then you wake on a cold, dark floor.
You are in the Gray Rooms.
Cassie, anything else that you want to push for the Gray Rooms Productions universe before we jump on here, or before we jump off of here? And we'll definitely do this again. Definitely.
Yeah. Well, I'll definitely be back, but just tune in and enjoy some episodes. I was going to say, you can find us all over the place. We love having you and talking to you, so definitely join our Discord. So,
yes.
Awesome. Again, thank you so much for coming on here. We really appreciate it. I mean, it means so much. This is Christmas for Ryan. I mean, obviously I'm excited and I love this, but for Ryan, this is Christmas. Better than Christmas.
And my dad was one of our guests.
Well, thank you all for having me on. Your dad is such a celebrity. I don't know how I can compare, but thank you all for inviting me on the show.
Cassie, thanks so much for coming on. Folks, Hill folk, you guys out there, thanks for tuning in again. Make sure you go check out the Gray Rooms. And until next time, we'll see y'all later.
See y'all later.